Should you buy a used turbo BRZ? Hell yeah. Dude, it's so good.
You dusted it, man.
Yeah. Oh, so around the corners here. Oh! Dude. Oh man, that feels so good. I can't believe that this car has been around for more than 10 years. Throughout the 10 years, this has gained so much aftermarket support. And here at MDTV, we love a good 86 or a BRZ. The most watched video on the channel is a Turbo GR86. This one, the first gen, comes with the SME Turbo kit. For the very first time, we've got a reappearing guest, or a guest that's revisiting on the channel, Dan. He's come on today with his BRZ and he's gonna tell us about his Turbo BRZ. Let's get into it. Rightio, welcome back to another episode of MDTV, guys, and welcome back, Dan, the very first revisiting guest. How you doing, man?
Good, man. Good to see you.
Yeah, very good to see you too. Could you tell us what this car is and why you bought it?
This is a Subaru BRZ 2015. I bought it because I wanted something that was opposite to my daily. Something turbo, something rear-wheel drive, lightweight.
What condition was the car in when you bought it, and what mods had been done to it already?
So when I bought it, it had 72,000 kilometers on it. I put on probably another 10K on it. I've only had this for about a year. It's got some minor cosmetic damage, but nothing to worry about. It had pokey wheels, which I wanted to change out because it was rubbing against the inner wheel guard. It came with coilovers, exhaust, and yeah, the wheels. It has a flex fuel kit in it already, but it only came with a base map, or it was only flash tunes from a shop that's shut down a while ago called MRT. I don't know what happened to them, so I looked for the next best guys, which was this PVS. Everyone just keeps recommending them, so that's why I went, got it tuned, and feels a lot better now.
So was the car running super rough when you bought it?
I wouldn't say rough, it only ran on wastegate pressure, so I wasn't getting the full benefits of a turbo kit.
Tell us what's been done to the car.
When I bought it, there was no cat, so it was so stinky when I started it up, because it likes to run rich. So when I started it, it was like a gas chamber and I just smelt fuel. The wheels that came with the car, I believe it was 18 by 9.5 and the offset was plus 18. So they stuck out quite a bit.
What the heck? Dude, plus 38 is pushing it.
This
already.
is 38.
Yeah, 38 is like pushing it flush. Plus 18, that's insane.
Problem was that it kept rubbing against the inner wheel guard.
Oh.
On 235s. These are 255s and they don't rub at all. Oh yeah, I put bigger injectors in, because it was limited by the fuel system. So I put in injector Dynamics 1050X, and yeah, I got Tyler to do all the work and the tuning. I had to put a new sensor in because it couldn't read past a certain pressure. So whenever I'm hitting boost and the ECU freaks out, I'm like, oh, too much pressure. Put in a lightweight flywheel with a heavy duty clutch. Yeah, basically the original clutch that was in it was not designed for the extra power. And while I had it out, I put in a rear main seal just as insurance. And these things run hot, so I had to put in a HKS oil cooler as well. When I was doing street pulls, not even a track day, I was hitting maybe 110, 120 degrees.
Oh damn.
Centigrade.
How much has it dropped to now with the oil cooler?
90 to 100.
Oh, so good.
That's on a track day as well.
10 to 20 degrees change. Tell us about the turbo kit that came with the car and why you chose to get a car with this turbo kit on it.
So when I was looking around, there was a few different options. There was the AVO kit, SME, HKS, and in the States there's the JDL kit. With the AVO kit, it's mounted down low, right next to the exhaust manifold.
Oh, just like the Rexy.
Yeah, so you get the benefits of easy heat management and it's more stealthy to hide from the cops. But you're limited by the space where it's mounted because it's down low and yeah, pretty cramped. I test drove one, it's good. It felt like it was very linear. It felt like a big NA motor, but I wanted a different feeling. I wanted a turbo car. That's the whole point of changing from a Honda. So yeah, a lot of people recommended the SME kit. It's mounted up high and lots of space, easy to engineer, and yeah, designed here in Australia, so proud to be an Aussie.
And it's very accessible as well, right? So if you ever need to change anything, upgrade it, maintenance, fix something, it's right there. I can see it all the way from here.
Easy to service, your cooling lines are right there, wastegate, blow-off valve. Yeah, if there's a leak, you can easily find it. Yeah. And the support is good too. When
you were shopping for a Turbo BRZ, were there a lot of them on the market?
There were some, not many though, compared to NA counterparts. This one came up, I saw it, I like the colour. There's only 50 of these Hyper Blues in Australia.
Dude, the Hyper Blue is probably honestly the best colour that this car came out on. So tell us again the performance mods that came with the car. You said it's got coilovers.
Yep, coilovers from MCA. Had a Varix exhaust, 3-inch. Pretty damn loud. As I said, no cat before, so pretty smelly. And it's got the flex fuel kit. Yeah, after the tuning, it's pushing 232 kilowatts.
On ethanol?
Yeah, on ethanol.
Oh damn.
Yeah, on 12 psi. There's other turbos that can do better, but this is an F-bomb.
Yep.
It's a journal bearing turbo, and it's only oil cooled. Pretty much an entry level kit, and it's kind of old at this point. I think it was designed when this came out for this car. They've got better turbos now that are ball bearing, coolant cooled as well.
To me, that's amazing. This is a car that's more than 10 years old. This turbo kit is more than 10 years old. The turbo kit itself, you didn't have to change. The injectors you changed, everything else that was there, you didn't have to change. Just a different tune, and it was 232 kilowatts. That is, to me, that is insane. And for a car this light, rear-wheel drive, manual, that must feel amazing on track. Tell us about your track experience.
My track experience. On the day, I didn't know, my driver's side rear wheel was cracked. So it wasn't holding air.
So how did you know that it was cracked?
Checking the tire pressures before I went on track, and I noticed it was on 7 psi.
7? Dude, that's flat as.
I know.
It's basically flat.
I thought something was wrong with the gauge, so I borrowed my mate's one and showed the same reading.
So what did you do for the rest of that night?
I took the wheel off, inspected it, and saw the crack. I'm like, oh shit. So I just pumped it up to maybe 35. And as it heats up, it's gonna increase the pressure and you might lose some air, but I was hoping to
just keep pumping it up.
Yeah, compensate for it basically.
Yeah, right.
I went on anyway and I drove, had some fun, but as the tires got heat soaked, I realized, oh, I'm sliding around now. So I was losing grip, and part sports, they're good for daily fun, but once they get a lot of heat into them, they start disintegrating.
Have you had any reliability issues with this turbo kit?
None at all.
None at all.
I think he's done a conservative tune on my one.
Yep.
Because it doesn't make as much power as what I've seen on other cars.
Yeah, but then again, you don't need that much power.
Exactly, yeah.
This is plenty for the road, plenty for the track. This is a kit from SME, and SME have come out with an F-bomb upgrade for anyone that's looking to upgrade their original F-bomb turbos. The new turbos have a billet aluminium turbo wheel that adds up to 40 Newton meters of torque in the mid-range. So for anyone that's watching, or for yourself included, if you're interested in upgrading your turbo, from the SME website, you just got to type in MDTV special and you get a free roll of titanium heat wrap for your cool turbo kit. I saw on the BRZ and 86 forums that you posted your experience when you tried to get this engineered. Tell us about that, man.
Man, it was a long drawn out process and expensive, but I was always paranoid of getting pulled over and getting defected with some bullshit.
But I heard, even if you've got an engineering certificate,
you can still get shafted, yeah.
You can still get shafted, and it's not like a drive shaft, you actually get shafted.
I know.
Right?
So what I got engineered was the turbo kit and the coilovers. And when I got there, he would take the car, put it on a hoist, look underneath, see if there's any leaks, damages, whatever. And then he would give me a list of requirements that need to be done. For anyone who's doing this, just a tip, put on your stock wheels, put on your stock exhaust, stock everything except for what you want to modify. This is definitely a no-go, this carbon bonnet.
No way.
Yeah.
What did they say why?
It doesn't adhere to ADR standards.
Probably because of the crumple zone upon crash. Oh,
Yeah.
right, okay.
Some bullshit law. Yeah, the exhaust was also a no-go. It's too loud. Even with the valve closed, it was too loud.
Yeah. Oh, so this is a valved exhaust.
Yes, just like my
Right.
daily.
I think the decibel limit or the noise limit is like 90 decibels or something.
It is, yeah.
And that's nothing. A stock car makes 90 decibels.
The exhaust was also a bit too big, so I couldn't pass the height test. So how they test it is they get a 100 mil in diameter pipe and they roll it under the car.
And anything that it hits is a no-go, hey?
It's an automatic fail, yeah. So I had to max up my coilovers and make sure nothing hits. Other requirements is I had to relocate the secondary O2 sensor to behind the cat. I got PVS to do it for me, but I think it's just rewiring some sensors to comply with some standard. Another thing was the intercooler. There needs to be like a mount underneath to support it. Another thing was headers had to be wrapped, but it was already wrapped, so I'm good on that part.
So the engineering process is just for the engineer to check that everything is compliant.
Yeah.
Safe, working
Safe.
well. Yeah, you're safe, working well, but also complies with
ADR standards.
ADR standards. Right. This part of the video is sponsored by Ottocast. A massive first world problem that I have in this car and in a lot of modern cars is that the head unit is absolute crap. A lot of cars these days will come with Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, but it's still wired, and this car is no exception. From 2019, where CarPlay was first introduced to the Giulia, and to the current model of the Giulia, CarPlay and Android Auto has always been wired. And this is where Ottocast come in. The Ottocast Mini Slim is indeed very mini. It's such a low profile CarPlay adapter. It's very slim and low profile indeed. Unlike some of its competitors, that I originally bought from Amazon. In my car, there are 3 USB ports that work with Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. You just got to pick any one of them. I want to put it in there. I'll turn on the car, and you know that it's working because the light will turn on. And just like any other Apple CarPlay or Android Auto unit, it'll connect to the car's CarPlay or Android Auto, and it will come up like this. And every time you get back into the car afterwards, it just automatically connects and you just forget that it's even there. I'll leave an affiliate link in the description box below to the Ottocast Black Friday sale. By clicking on the link, you're also supporting the channel. You get a very cool and very low profile wireless Android Auto or Apple CarPlay adapter. Let's get back to the BRZ. Again, I can't get over that this car is 10 years old. I love the back of this car. It just looks so wide and so low. We also noticed that you've got a big brake kit on your car. Can you tell us, first of all, tell us about your experience with the suspension, the coilovers, and then tell us about your wheel and brake setup as well.
So with the coilovers, it's pretty good. Stops the roll of the car pretty good, but I haven't done rear sway bars yet. That's probably my next mod.
And you probably don't need it though. It's such a minimal difference unless you're going so fast though.
Yeah, but you know, it's a project car, so there's always room for improvement.
Sure. And these coilovers, do you know how old they are?
I'm assuming it's probably the same age as the car.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
And it's still running well. Nice.
There's no leaks, no knocks, although it is a bit harsh because of how low it is.
Yeah.
I found that raising the height makes it a lot more comfortable because I think there's more room for it to absorb the shocks.
Compressed, yeah.
Yeah. For the brakes, they're from a WRX STI GT model, I believe, from 2010 or 2011.
Really? It's probably the paint job that you've got on it because they look brand spanking new.
Yeah, it's being powder coated.
Yeah, oh, they look beautiful. Did you get it more for a cosmetic thing or did you notice brake fade and brake issues with the original?
A bit of both.
Yep.
At the track day, when I was going down that long straight on the final
Sydney Motorsport Park.
Yeah, Sydney Motorsport Park. After that long bend on turn 1, I would slam on the brakes, and then after a few laps, I was noticing the brake fade. It's like, yeah, time to get new brakes.
And that must have been so scary because you're going so fast around that bend. You step on the brakes and there's nothing.
Yeah. I got footage of me just plowing into the dirt part just after that turn.
Yes, I remember seeing that, man. That's scary.
I'm like, oh shit.
It's a Code Brown moment, bro.
Especially when it's pushing almost double the stock power.
Oh yeah.
Stock brakes won't keep up. So when Tyler got this tuned, he's noticed that it already had a Ecutech ROM on it. And what that does is it unlocks some additional features. The base tune, or the tune that was on it before from MRT, had auto blip, and I found that just got to be in the way.
Like auto rev match?
Yeah, auto rev match. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it's got that. It's got launch control. You can change maps, but I found the auto blip to be annoying, so I asked him to turn it off, and yeah, it's heaps better now.
Right. Oh, I didn't know you could tune that into a car.
And
interesting.
this is on a stock ECU. In addition to the sensor, I installed a MAC valve, and what that allows is to control your boost pressure. So you can have different maps as well. You can have like a low boost setting and a high boost setting.
And how do you change that in the car? Is there like a sports mode and a normal mode?
The way you do it is you hold the cruise control stick in, RPM needle will go to a certain number, and that will indicate which map you're in.
Oh, right. Okay, that's very cool. I think we've covered everything in terms of performance mods, handling and all that stuff. So maybe I'll take some B-rolls and then we'll go for a drive, man. I love that the seating position is so low. That's what I hated about the Rexy. The Rexy is like you're sitting on a box. It didn't feel like a sports car, whereas this, my bum is low, my legs are high.
Yeah, it's designed from the ground up to be a sports car.
Yeah. Well, oh man, that wasn't even on proper boost, hey? Oh, it sounds so good, dude. Oh, and it's not violent, like it's not snapping. It's probably the tune, hey?
Very progressive, yeah.
Yeah. Woo! Dude, what setting is your coilovers on? Because it's so comfy right now.
Oh, just wait till you hit a bump.
Oh, really? Oh, really?
Yeah,
okay.
You're gonna feel it.
I'm not saying this because I'm sponsored by MCA, but like at the moment, it's so compliant.
Yeah, when the roads are smooth like this, it's fine.
Yeah.
But when you hit a pothole, it's a different story.
Oh yeah, but then that's with any coilovers. Even stock suspension, you hit a pothole, you're screwed, hey?
Yeah. If I want it to be more comfortable, I just raise it.
Yeah. Oh!
Yeah, see what I mean?
That wasn't uncomfortable, it was just the sound. The sound is scary.
Yeah.
Oh, the rev matching is perfect.
It's easy.
So easy. And the pedal placement just for heel toe as well. I can't get over the sound. That wasn't even fast.
The dose.
Yeah.
So good.
Oh, the back back straight. Dude, that feels so good. Yep. Oh, dude, it comes in so nicely, man. Far out. And I can't believe this is an old turbo.
Yeah.
10-year-old turbo or 10-year-old setup, and it still feels this good. Oh, dude, around the corner, man. Dude, this feels so planted.
Pretty grippy, right?
Grippy, but like very little body roll.
And I haven't even installed the MTA traction mod.
Traction mod. I was going to ask you about that. So you don't have the traction mod?
I want to get it.
It's just the coilovers.
Yeah.
Dude, it's so good.
You dusted it, man.
Yeah. Oh, so around the corners here. Oh! Dude. Oh man, that feels so good. Even though that fishtailed a little bit,
It's fine.
it's so predictable.
You can catch it easily.
Yeah, caught it easily. Oh man, but it's so compliant, dude. Feels. I love the seating. I can't get over the seating position.
You love it.
The cockpit is so nice. I love these seats. They're so soft and comfy, but
A lot
a lot of
yeah.
support either side.
Yeah, the bolstering.
Just going around those bends there didn't slide at all.
Exactly.
The
yeah.
car slid, but I stayed. You know? Dude, that sounds amazing. The short shifting here is amazing. Was it easy to do?
It came with it already.
Came with it already. Oh, nice. And is it a Subaru short shifter or is it a?
I think it's from Torque Solutions.
Yeah, right. Okay. Dude, this is so planted, man. I'm on the throttle a little bit and it's not giving way. Oh,
It's so good.
so good. Off the throttle. Oh. Dude, this thing feels so amazing. I can't believe that this is 10, 12 years old. It's so smooth, it feels so modern, man.
It's an ageless design, I'd say.
Oh, 100%. Should you buy a used turbo BRZ? Hell yeah. If it's been taken well care of, right?
Yeah, yeah. It's controversial, but I'm gonna say this is the modern S chassis.
Yeah, you reckon? It feels more compliant than an S chassis. If you get in an S chassis, like, the car feels old.
Yeah.
And fair enough, it is old.
It's from the 90s.
Yeah, this feels less scary.
Less scary.
Yeah, it's more predictable compared to an S15. And the brakes feel really good as well.
Of course it does.
The pedal feel that you've got, is it got braided lines and all that stuff?
Yep, braided lines, big rotors.
Yeah. Woo! Oh, and the turbo spool sounds like a freaking jet, man. I love that short shifter feel. I'm off the brakes, I'm on the throttle here, but the car is just compliant. Like, I'm talking to you while I'm driving through that corner, accelerating through that corner.
It's like the time when Jeremy Clarkson reviewed one of these. And he was
Yeah,
reading the book.
he was reading a book and he was smiling. Woo! I love when it comes on song, man. Oh, yeah. Oh. Oh. This feels so good, dude. Thanks so much for letting me drive it.
No worries.